Shifting gears a little bit to talk about basketball writing. You were one of the original people to talk and write about basketball on the internet and do so in a very trenchant, entertaining fashion, along with guys like Dwyer and I put Kevin in there and Free Darko and all that. Is yours the greatest generation, if we will call it that, of basketball writers? And what do you think of the writers who have emerged since that point? Guys like Beckley, and I. Do you think that we're I guess I'm searching for validation. Do you think we're doing a good job?
Yeah, I do think you guys are doing a great job. I wouldn't say we're the greatest generation. I just think we all kind of came along at the time when the internet came along, and um, we were just able to be widely read, which was a big difference. Like when I was growing up, um, I grew up in Atlanta, as did Kevin actually, and so Jeffrey Denberg covered the Hawks for the AJC, but I really wasn't able to read guys like Peter Vesey in New York or Sam Smith in Chicago or Mark Heisler in LA. There was no internet. There were no papers. There weren't these things where you could just go pick up a newspaper from another city. Magazines were about the only kind of national basketball writing. From that standpoint, I really just think we were just more widely available than people had been before. And it was sort of fortuitous that we came along at the time that this whole internet thing happened. You guys, I was having a conversation with someone the other night about how out of all the different sports, professional sports, there's really, I think basketball has the best basketball writing out there. I don't read a lot of baseball blogs or a lot of NFL blogs. There's some good college football ones, but I think really the NBA kind of leads in that field. And I don't know why that is. I think one reason is because there's so many games. There's something to write about every single day, instead of um, one game a week like with football. But I read all you guys, and I think when Kevin emailed me to see if I'd want to do this, he was like, you can go on with Ethan and Beckley and Zach, and he put what blogs you guys do, and I was like, Kevin, I know who these guys. I read the internet. I know who these guys are. So.
Well, well, that's very nice of you to say, and I completely agree that basketball does have the best writing, in my opinion. Although I might be completely biased because all I read is basketball blogs. But I wonder if that is true, and if we are to believe that basketball has the best writing out there on the internet. Do you think that that is something intrinsic to the game and just how it's got this aesthetic quality that prompts good writing, or do you think that that it's just random?
I think it's a little random. I mean, I think good writing can be about anything. I mean, you look at uh, some stories like in the New Yorker had a story a couple of years ago about UPS or FedEx, and there was like this 38,000 word story about how FedEx works. And who cares about FedEx? But if it's good writing, it's good writing. It's interesting to read. Um, I mean, basketball. I think in some sense it's also easier to write about for all of us because everyone plays basketball at some point in your life. You might not be any good at it, but you do play as a kid or in your backyard or wherever at the playground. So we all have this experience of trying and failing at it, and and I think from that experience, a sort of a shared experience we all have, we it gives us like a common point to go on.
All right, Ethan, I'm going to step in and ask a question here. Lang, this is something, I was just at Bury Farms in DC, and I was talking with someone who had said that when Kevin Durant's new shoe came out, they came to Bury Farms and gave like hundreds of pairs away. And, with the way that marketing is changing and viral marketing, and the fact that now that when Kevin Durant plays at Bury Farms and someone, takes an image of it, that gets spread to the internet and ups his street cred. The ways that shoe companies are marketing shoes of their highest performing athletes, no more humongous commercials the way we're used to seeing. What have your observations been of that kind of transition in the last 5 years or so?
I have very vivid memories of being in fifth grade, and I was flipping through. It was either Sports Illustrated or something, and there was an ad for the Adidas Forum high top, and it was just a one-page picture, and it had arrows pointing to like the web along the sole or whatever the different parts were. And seeing that and thinking, man, this shoe is really cool. I think I want to buy this shoe. And then I saw Lynn Bias play when I was in middle school, when he played for Maryland, and he was wearing like the Nike Terminators with the big Nike across the heel. And I saw that shoe, and I thought, wow, this guy's amazing. That shoe looks really cool on him. I think I want to get that shoe. So, marketing changes, but what doesn't change, I think, is all of us consumers. You see something, you like it, you want it. It's just figuring out how to get you to see it and want it. So they're going to where eyeballs are. Now Twitter, which didn't exist 2 years ago, basically, is a thing where you can leak an image out or whatever. Things happen, and you see it there. So they'll go to where the eyeballs are. And maybe Berry Farms or Rutgers a place now where you can, or the Dykeman, you can go and take a picture of some guy there doing something. It gets out. But yeah, it is interesting how it's changed. Even if you think back to 7-8 years ago when there were just tons of commercials with different players, and the Fun Police 15 years ago, all these different things, and now it's pretty different.
Yeah. Do you think that players are still? I guess I'm not as up on this as I should be to ask this question. But do you think that players are still making the kind of money on the side that they used to be through shoe contracts, or is that also died down a little bit?
Yeah, I think that's died down a little bit. And the guys now, they don't really make the kind of money they did, and they also are expected to do kind of more things than they used to do. I know like guys, shoe companies want guys who are active on Twitter or have active on or who are active on Facebook, or who have fan bases in different places than just the city they play in. There's a lot of different variables that play into that now, but yeah, I don't know if it's a function of the economy being bad the last few years or what, but I think the shoe contracts have changed from where they were before, just because there's also fewer companies to go around, so the companies kind of hold the purse strings now and can pick and choose what they want to spend that money on.